Oh no. Oh no. Folks, it seems that there is no love in the world. It seems that my friends have abandoned me. No, it's known. Britt always needs a few more minutes to get ready just because of her life schedule. We crack a lot of jokes about Britt being fashionably late, but like Britt has stuff that she has to take care of, and she's on Central Time, so this is earlier for her. And John is going to be here in a minute. He is on an unusual work schedule this week, so bear with him. But yes, for right now, for this moment in time, you got me. You got producer Thatty. Hello, welcome once again to SDGC Live. It is a Thursday night, if you can believe it. We are going to have a good night tonight when John and Britt join us in that order. In a few minutes, we will be talking about some games. We will be talking about Netflix shutting down their AAA game development studio, a studio I had forgotten existed, which should tell you a little something about the state of things. God, my hair is fucked tonight, isn't it? Look at that. This is puffy in the back and shit. I got all sticky ups. You know, look at that. This is horrible. Exactly. Netflix had a what? Netflix had a AAA game development studio that they shut down before they managed to get anything out the door. We'll talk about that. And I think what we may be doing is we may circle back to the Bandai Namco story from last week about them shuttering a bunch of projects and putting employees in rooms with no windows and shit. We will talk about that probably at the end. I think it's a big story. I think it's worth talking about. I'm sad that we didn't get to it last week, but also me and John and Britt were rolling. Can you blame us? So, yeah, Dorian, my special gummies kicked in and I have Ernie singing I Don't Want to Live on the Moon in my head, but I'm here. Dorian, what did you do? What happened to John and Britt? Derek's got his radio voice sounding good tonight. That's the wonderful thing of, so while I'm vamping, for a little time as John gets ready, not many people know this. I've mentioned that I worked prior to my current job in civil engineering. I'm kind of half wearing the shirt for right now. I'd worked in television, and a lot of people know that. A lot of people know that I worked in broadcast television news for a long time, like 8 years, and then before that, I was at Nintendo in a marketing-related role for a little bit. What a lot of people don't realize is I actually was in radio for a little bit before all of that, before even retail. Back in school, I did radio. So I do, in fact, have a very good radio voice, and I did speech and debate. It's very funny how, John was pointing out that Super Deluxe Games Cast has been going on for I was, in fact, the uncle at Nintendo. John was pointing out that SDGC has been on the air for 8-9 years, and I've been here for 6 of that. And despite being on paper the least experienced, most amateur person we came in, my familiarity with like radio and television, and my position in the games industry just before I joined, because I didn't work at Nintendo when I started here, was in television already. That plus my general, I grew up basically in a recording studio. I may have mentioned my father did a lot of music production, like indie level. So yeah, I did speech and debate. Yes, I did Lincoln Douglas speech and debate. I was actually yeah, exactly. What was your event? Did Lincoln Douglas debate. I was a multiple time state champion in Lincoln Douglas debate. I was very, very good at it. I, in fact, used to be able to do this thing where I used 0% of my prep time in a debate, which is hard to do because you're not giving yourself time in between phases to actually gather thoughts. But the nice thing is, by doing that, you take time away from your opponents too. People fucking hated me. But I digress. That is enough about the Derek's background hour. We are going to talk about videos games and videos games news as soon as John gets here, which should be any minute now. God, God, I don't know. What do we want to do? I want to find something to, is Derek going to re-enter his political debate era? So here's the thing. There is definitely an alternate timeline where I ended up as a Twitch debate bro. And I'm very glad not to be there. I'm very glad not to be a Twitch debate bro. I am actually, I think, politically a much wiser person for my time in debate when I was younger. But then also for abandoning debate as like the source of all truth. You know what, Dorian? I like that idea. I'm waiting for John to get here. He should be here any minute. If we want to talk about videos games, and I don't want to talk about what I've been playing yet because I want to wait, until John is actually here. I want to talk about the Monster Hunter Wilds trailer. Man, y'all know me. Y'all know I am a Monster Hunter sicko. Y'all know I'm super into the series. I've been playing since the original game on the PlayStation 2, and there's not a lot of people here in the West that can say that. I am such a sicko for that Monster Hunter Wilds trailer. I've been a sicko for Wilds since it was released. I got to play it, or not released, announced. Excuse me. I got to play it back at PAX West in Seattle and had a wonderful time. It's John! Hi, buddy. Can you hear me? John's going to work on his shit. I'm going to keep talking. No, he's gone. All right, cool. Fuck me then, I guess. Eat shit, Derek. God damn. Between him and Britt, I've been getting it with both fucking barrels the last 2 days. I am a big Monster Hunter fan. Wilds looks really interesting and really unique, and my time playing it in Seattle was very rewarding, although it's clearly, it felt like it's in a rough state. And if that's the same build, which I think it is, that people are going to have access to when this open beta network test type thing starts in about a week, I think people are going to have an interesting time, but they're going to see that it's struggling a little bit. Hi, John. Can you hear me yet? No.
What's that, babe?
Oh, well, if I can hear him.
No, honey, no, I'm not wearing any pants.
Shut the fuck up, John.
I'm having audio issues, and no, I'm not wearing any pants. What's the problem?
Hi, John.
Hi.
How you doing, bud?
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Hey, it could have gotten so much worse, buddy. How you doing, man?
Sorry for being late.
Well, then don't stand up. Don't stand up.
Hours.
No, it's okay. I got pants.
I'm working really, I'm working really weird hours this week. So
yeah. Well, you're working with some people in Hawaii, so you've got to be on like Hawaii time, right?
I am. I'm giving some people some training in Hawaii.
Not physically in Hawaii, but on Hawaii time.
No, I'm definitely not in Hawaii. I'm on the East Coast, but I am working on Hawaii time right now.
Yeah. So you got home at like 30 minutes ago, right?
Oh, not even that. I got home maybe 20 minutes ago, and I had to get the. Yeah, no, I had to get shit ready and like say hi to the wife and say hi to the dogs and make a drink and do all that shit. But she was like, "Can you hold me?" And I was like, "Sorry, honey, content calls. Like I gotta create content. Capital C content. Romance can wait, okay? But the SDGC community cannot.
Guess what, John? Guess what?
Wait?
In 2 weeks?
What?
In 2 weeks? You can hold me, motherfucker.
Don't ever threaten me with that again.
In 2 weeks, 5 of us, not quite the entire crew, but 5 of us will be together.
Not quite the entire crew,
we'll be together at your place. It'll be the 2 of us. It'll be Britt. It'll be Justin and CJ, who haven't been on the show in a long time, but are still part of the crew, just dealing with busy life schedules and some personal stuff that keep. Well, CJ, it's easy because he's got work and school.
I personally, I don't really give a shit. They got their priorities fucked up. Content is content, guys. We got to create it. Sorry about that. It is what it is. No, but Derek, since I'm late, I haven't had an opportunity to ask you how you're doing.
I'm doing good. I do have a weird update that I just shared with Britt like a few minutes before we got on the call that I'll share with you as well after. It's funny. You'll laugh at it. I am paying for some decisions that I made that I told you about the last time you called me late at night. In the funniest way possible.
Derek, listen, Derek, I told you mice and gerbils don't belong there.
Shut up.
I told you this over and over and over.
Oh my God.
Like there's being a furry, and then there's putting furry things up your bunghole. And
what's that Electric Six song, Gay Bar? I'm just hearing that riff, the doom 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 doom.
For anybody wondering, I called Derek the other day because I needed advice on something, and he went, "Hello." I was like, Derek, what are you? I was like, Derek, are you pooping? He goes, no, gerbil.
This did not happen.
This 100%. Derek, don't lie to the people.
Oh God!
Why would you lie like this, Derek? Derek, I got to ask you, what do you think of the new angle here, aside from like the pile of clean clothes on the beanbag behind?
I like it. I like the angle. You could almost angle your camera down a little bit or boost your chair up a tiny bit because you look like a little guy, and you're not a little guy. You're a big dude.
You would want me to angle my camera down, wouldn't you? You'd like that, wouldn't you? John's not wearing any pants. John, angle that motherfucker down a little bit. And by the way, who knows? Maybe I'm not wearing pants. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe it's a lie. I don't know. I'll let the audience use their imagination.
Hey, last show I was wearing those short shorts that frankly were not necessarily good for air on that much of a close-up. So that's why I had to check before I got up and moved it like Bernie for you and Britt's amusement. I had to be sure.
You did. It granted us a really wonderful gift to use in the future. So yeah, thank you for that.
Pretty good.
Where is Britt? Is she being late again?
She'll be, well, you know how it is. She's got stuff to take care of. She's on a little bit of a later schedule.
She's got responsibilities or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Fucking a mom like of school age children who is on Central Time, not Eastern Time. How dare she not be here for content? So John, why don't we move ahead to some video games? Why don't you tell me what you've been playing recently, bud?
I actually gave up video games yesterday.
Okay, well, before yesterday, what had you been playing? What is it that made you give up on video games?
You.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, no, what made me give up on video games was all the bullshit around them. No, so right now
I am playing. You are here. We made a podcast about video games.
Here I am. I am playing Metaphor Refantatio. I think that's how you pronounce it. Refantatio.
Okay.
Or maybe it's Refantasio, or maybe it's Refan.
It's fucking one of these things.
Like how do we pronounce that? Is it Refantatio or Refantasio?
I don't know. Why are you asking me? I haven't started it. I don't know.
Well, I don't know because Derek, I was a Marine. I spent 5 years of my life eating paste and crayons. I don't fucking know how to pronounce things. But I've been playing Metaphor. I'm about maybe 25 hours into it. It's very, very good. It's very fucking good. It's
I've heard people say it's just better Persona, basically.
Yeah, like it's
a bold thing to say.
It's definitely. I mean, there's a ton of Persona here. I mean, it's an Atlas RPG, but huge differences too, right? Like for one, there's a fully voiced protagonist. Two, it is very, very much a medieval fantasy game as opposed to like something set in the modern day. There's no school. You're not in class, and you definitely don't have the time management things happening that you do in like a Persona game.
You don't like go to school and go on dates and work a part-time job.
Right.
And
there's no romance. No, there are relationships.
On Tuesdays we do legs.
Right. Like there are relationships that you can build with other characters, which is how you develop your archetypes, which are your personas essentially. but there's no romantic relationship. Like there's just building relationships with your team. In those big dungeons, there like it is very set up like a Persona game. Like for the big story dungeons, it's like, okay, we have 10 days to get in here and like, you know, kill the bad guy, right? And there's definitely like, you know how like in Persona dungeons you have those rooms every now and then. It's like, how close are we? Well, we're sort of halfway there. All right, let's take a break and keep going. Like that's the exact same thing happening here in Metaphor. So in that regard, it's very much set up like a Persona game. The combat is also very Persona-ish, but there's much more of an emphasis on like team attacks and stuff like that. But it's still fundamentally like, you know, you can feel the you know the DNA and the bones of Persona in there, right? Like if you strike an enemy with a, you know, something they're weak to, you'll get another turn. So in that regard, it's basically Persona with all of the bullshit stripped out, with much better pacing. I fucking I love it. Like if you like JRPGs, then you absolutely need to go grab this. It's a fucking awesome game so far. The voice acting is very well done. The art style, Derek, the art in this game is fucking out of control. This is Atlas at their peak. In like the scope of the game is huge, and I'm not talking in like the, like, you know, the side, because it's very much not an open world game, right? Like you go to different areas, and those areas, you know, you're just running around. Not an open world game, but the scope. When I say scope, I'm talking about like the art style, right? Like there's these incredible vistas, and it's very actually reminiscent of like a Final Fantasy game in some regards. The scope is grandiose beyond what you're used to seeing from an Atlas game. I really love it so far, dude. It's really fucking good. And it's got one of the best battle themes of all time. One of the best battle themes of all time. So good, in fact, that the boss themes kind of pale in comparison to the regular battle theme. But yeah, go play Metaphor. If you like Atlas RPGs or you just like RPGs in general and you're not playing Metaphor, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's fucking outstanding. Go play it. That is what I'm playing right now.
It's on my to-do list. Unfortunately, my to-do list is miles long, and I am very, very busy. That's just the life of being an adult.
I want to hear Britt's thoughts about Life is Strange so far.
You know, John, life is strange.
It's weird, Britt. Life is very weird and odd.
Life is very strange.
Live and be unusual.
Hold on, I'm trying to load up the stream right now. I was too distracted. Like, you caught me off guard because I just realized that Discord changed their notification sounds on PC.
Oh.
And it just weirded me out and completely just like funneled any kind of sense of direction. And okay, so yeah, I played Life is Strange. A good chunk of it. I played 2 hours of it so far.
Yeah.
And it's good. I like it. My one caveat is there's a lot to like do and read through. Like, you remember when we were at PAX, they were like, make sure you read all of these things very often, and it's literally
text
like
messages and
and it's almost kind of overwhelming because literally after every conversation you have, it's like, boop, like go look at your social media, go look at who texted you, like
you're like, I just want to play the game.
The next thing, and it's like, I really just want to get into what makes Life is Strange games great, which is like talking to people and communicating and making decisions. And it almost like, and maybe, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but it feels kind of like real life, right? Where it's like you're available everywhere at all times because you have a cell phone. And it kind of feels the same way in Life is Strange, in the sense that like you're everywhere, all over the place, all at once, and you got to go check this and read that, and it's just like, I just want to have a conversation with people. Like, I don't want to worry about my phone. But I get it. And it's not like bad content. Like, there's funny stuff in there. There's stuff about, you know, the previous Life is Strange games and like previous characters posting on social media and that kind of thing.
He just had to fetch something. It's okay.
Did you see him like lift it up, like just doing this?
Yeah.
At first, I thought there was like a killer behind Brit. I'm like, oh,
No.
this is how the horror movie
Fucking,
starts.
I wish. And me. Good lord.
Oh, Brit.
But yeah, it's a very Life is Strange game, and it's really nice to be in the shoes of Max Caulfield again. And
I like the new supporting cast so far.
Yeah, the new support, except for fucking what's his
name?
I don't even remember his name.
Moses.
Fuck Moses, man.
I heard you guys bitching about Moses. Why is he a fuckboy?
It's the way he texts. I don't.
And like he's very not.
Britt and I were roasting him reading through the text exchanges.
Fuck Moses. Right? He's just kind of like. The perfect way to describe it, right, is like, John, let's say you and I are friends, and then you introduce me to Derek, and Derek and I aren't really friends. We're just kind of like not as close as friends as we are, but we're like kind of like acquaintance friends. You know, we hang out with each other because we hang out with the same person kind of thing. So he and Max don't really click as easily as you do with the main character of the game. So, yeah, it's a very awkward friendship, and you can tell it's going to develop over the game. I think that's kind of why they start him out the way that he does. But I just started getting into the real meaty bits of the game because the person who passed, and now my crush is coming over to make sure that I'm okay because I ignored my phone for hours, and which is like, yeah, she's like, she's messages you. Yeah, so yeah, you can either be friends with the bartender, or you can ask her out on a date, and you know
what we chose to do.
Yeah. And then essentially after like the whole big disaster happens, like, of course you got to check your phone, and you know, you got to read all the updates and all that shit. And the girl that you ask out on a date, Amanda, she basically is like, I'm coming over because you don't respond to any of her text messages, and she wants to make sure that you're okay. But now, like, I got a shitty task to do, so right, it's like it gets really interesting, and then it's like, clean up your fucking dirty socks. Like, fucking put some deodorant on, you fucking nerd. Take a shower.
That's how depression. Like, that's how fighting depression actually is. Sadly,
yeah. She's like, oh, my place is a mess, and I'm like, then just call her back and tell her don't come over. You know, like, don't make me do this. Like, let's dig into the. I'm ready to go fucking Scooby Dooing, and that's the issue. Is it's like it's taken a little bit to get there, and it's fine. They gotta throw down that exposition, get the story going, but yeah,
what is the full game release, Britt?
The 29th. So
the 29th. Okay.
Yeah, in a few days. I realize though it's a very hard game to stream because you're doing so much reading and like social media and stuff. Like, I'm still going to stream it, but I found it really hard to. I was quiet a lot, and that's just because I feel
like that was something I was kind of concerned about, and it's why I like one of the reasons why I offered to like jump in and be a voice to bounce off of, and I don't know if that helped or not, but
yeah, it definitely did.
A game like Life is Strange feels like it would be intimidating for me to stream, right? Because it is a slower paced, more contemplative, experience.
I think it's a great game, and it has great conversations that revolve around it, but like, it's very much a game that you play, I don't think, with anybody else around. Like, people can be around, but it's like you were saying, it's like you have to interact so much with the environment and, the social media aspect in your phone, that it's like there's not a lot of banter as if like I were playing Fortnite or something, right? Like it takes a lot of like mental concentration. So that's the only the downside about streaming is. So I'm gonna kind of switch things up. I'm gonna stream The Quarry tomorrow because it was on sale, and I've been wanting to stream spooky games this month, but October's just been really busy. But other than that, I'm in Battle Pass hell with Overwatch and Fortnite.
I have a question, Britt.
Okay.
Where are you at with Dawn Trail?
I haven't touched it in months.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Just really not resonating with you, huh?
No, I just have no desire to like I shouldn't have to force myself to play through a game. And that's where I'm at right now.
No,
Is like
sure.
my time is so limited that I'm like, one, either I'm too tired to even like try to do an MMO, um, or two, like I just like I want to play something that I know I'm gonna enjoy and I know that's gonna be fun. You know, like
That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
I want to finish it, and I will probably go back soon, eventually at some point. But right now,
You'll find the mood for it at some point. But
Yeah.
yeah,
you got to chase
Yeah,
where the
no
dopamine's
rush.
actually laying right now.
Right.
You know, for sure.
and it's not 14, and it's not only because of the story, but it's like, you know, I recently lost a friend over the summer, and they are on the same server as me, and I just like getting on the game doesn't feel good right now, so I'm just not
For sure.
forcing it.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable. Derek, what kind of weird fucking anime furry bullshit are you playing right now?
You have really been on the furry angle with me recently, as if there's any of that going on. I've been playing. Well, one, I've been playing a weird amount of Overwatch. After not having played forever, because I got on and played, what was it, like 2 weeks ago with you, Britt. And
I didn't realize you played Overwatch.
I played a lot of Overwatch back in Overwatch 1. And
That's
I played
weird.
a little Overwatch 2 when, you know, early on. And I just fell off it really hard. And, you know, I got on and played with Britt and her husband and a couple friends recently. And somehow it was like, okay, now I want to play a couple of matches of Overwatch a day, I guess. Fuck. So that bit me right in the ass. There's not much to say other than like it's weird because like, there's like 5 more new characters since I stopped playing. So I keep forgetting that such and such exists until I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that select screen's bigger than it was. The other thing I've been playing is Aliens Dark Descent. That's the like XCOM style game, you know, set in the Aliens, like the movie universe.
I still need to fucking play that.
It's good, and you would really like it.
I love tactics games, and I love Aliens.
It's not so to kind of explain it, because I don't think a ton of people bought it and played it. It's very XCOM like, with the major difference being that it is real time, not turn based. So you move your entire squad as one unit. And there's a lot more stealth elements to it because you have the motion tracker, so you can see where aliens are in the map around you, and you're trying not to be detected by the swarm, by the hive. And, you know, when you fight, you know, and then like over time, the longer you're in a location completing objectives, because it's not like here's a battle map, beat all the enemies. It's okay, you're in the map, here's some objectives you have to complete. When you complete that, you get new things. And you keep exploring and trying to take care of the story. But the longer you're out on deployment, the more aggressive aliens get. And more powerful, like, you know, subspecies start dropping, and like, you know, aggressive hive swarms will start like spawning and seeking you out. So you have to like play it slow, play it careful. Every so often, like, find a room where you can weld the door up and find a rest place. You have to not just manage your health and your supplies, but also the stress and trauma of each of your Marines. So like the more shit they deal with, the more their stress level rises. And as their stress level hits certain points, they will get debuffs, you know, based on kind of the individual and like how much stress they've accrued. And if they finish a mission off at too high a stress level, they will gain like permanent like trauma. That is just a debuff that they will deal with from then on. So it's really interesting to see this game kind of play with the idea not just of physical health and like rest and fatigue, but also with the idea that like, yeah, man, Alien's a fucking horror movie. And the Marines going through this are going to get fucked up mentally through this process. It's good.
I was just about to ask if you saw that new Alien movie, but I forgot we had a lengthy discussion about it in the fucking hotel.
Yeah, you called your husband.
I'm finally getting a chance to watch it this weekend.
It's good. I really like it. I mean, it's not perfect, but like I really like it. I think a lot of what people had to say, you know, a lot of people's complaints were a little like nitpicky for me, but we're all entitled to our opinions.
I mean, it can't be worse than Alien Resurrection.
That's true. Well, it can't be worse than anyway.
Alien 3 was better than Alien Resurrection, by the way.
Yeah, I agree, especially if you watch the assembly cut. We don't need to get into this too bad, but yeah, Aliens Dark Descent is really good. If you like tactics type games, if you like XCOM, if you just like Alien, right? Like people always bring up Alien Isolation as this like incredibly good licensed game, and they should, but I think Dark Descent is a pretty close contender in terms of
you know what it sounds like to me, Derek?
Is.
It sounds to me like Aliens Dark Descent and Aliens Fireteam are to the Aliens movie what Alien Isolation is to the Alien movie.
Not exactly, because Aliens Dark Descent is
You're wrong.
You haven't even fucking played it. Is like a very slow paced, very careful, like it's not as action-packed, right? Your 4 Marines can get ripped to shreds by a single alien if you're not careful.
Okay, first of all, Marines don't get ripped to shreds by fucking anything, Derek. Having known me for years, you of all people should know this. Second
John,
of all,
you get ripped to shreds by every other dinner. Jesus Christ, man.
Second of all, Derek, I am confident.
Yeah, you know how often I call or text you and you're like, Derek, I'm holding on for dear life. I'm going to shit myself to death right now.
Okay, so speaking of that,
hang up the phone before you regret it.
Speaking of that, I just wanted to say thank you to Britt for texting me at like 1:20 the other night saying miss you love, and I had just woken up to take a fat deuce, and I was like, I just want to point out, John or Britt, think of how different your experience is texting me versus John at 2 a.m. I just want that. I was like, Britt, I'm so glad you texted. I just woke up to take a pinch a fat loaf. And she's like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I don't miss you anymore.
Isn't being friends with men fun?
No.
It's so wonderful.
Derek, here's the thing. I know I'm right for 2 reasons. 1, because I have Johnfidence, and 2, I have the unearned confidence of a straight white man.
Those are the same thing, John. Those are the same thing.
John, I have to ask you, what happened? Like, your camera was perfect. Like, the setup was perfect last time, and now it's like not. You're like way down here, and it's like driving.
No, I know. So I had to rearrange things because like I game on my PC on my TV, and I had the PC too far away from my fucking desk, and I was really so I had to rearrange everything. And since I got home late today, so I've been working weird hours.
You're
this
not
week,
in optimal podcast mode.
Yeah, I just didn't have the fucking time to arrange it. So next week it will look different.
And then we're gonna fuck it up the week after that, buddy. Hell yeah.
Yes, we will. Yes, we absolutely.
It's just like your head's like.
I'm like a little midget. Here, let me.
I don't think that's really a term we're supposed to use anymore, but. I admit that I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think that's good. I don't know.
Is it not good? I don't know. I legit don't know. So
I don't know. But I don't think we're supposed to. I think it's a bad one. But
and then you got like this pile of, is that laundry? Or
he's just got a laundry pile over there.
Those are clean clothes that Vicky put over there. Not me. Vicky put them there.
That's fine. I was just making sure that's what it was. You could have came home and just fucking. You weren't optimal.
Here's my pants.
I am not wearing pants, so I'll just throw that out there. No pants for John tonight.
All the John thirsters are just foaming at the mouth now.
They are. Yeah. They are. Hey, look, we have not only do we have a very robust fan base in the gay community. They also thirst over me like fucking nothing else, and I respect that.
Which is weird because you don't like men, so they know they're barking up the wrong tree.
I like you.
That's not the same way. And also, I'm
You know
not a
what,
man.
Derek? That's what we call a safe option. You can't be hurt if you know you can't fucking. If something's already unattainable and you're never going to get anything.
Oh, the shit, that explains a lot, actually.
What's funny is anybody who hasn't met me, anybody in chat who hasn't met me, Derek's like, John, you look tiny. I'm the opposite of tiny.
Yeah, you're a big dude. You're a big dude.
That's the funny thing. I'm fucking enormous.
Yeah. But anyway, that being said, let's move on to some news.
So, okay. I have been working from 1 to 10 this week.
Yeah.
So I've been on Hawaii, working on other people's Hawaii time. I am so out of the fucking loop this week with what has been going on. So I apologize if I sound like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about in regards to our topics tonight, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about in regards to our topics.
Let me ask you this though, John. Are you happier?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. I think that's important. I think that's important to tell everybody that.
Yeah.
Derek,
it's unfortunate, but it's so much better for John.
Britt, Derek actually told me on the phone today. He was like, the change in you since you took your new position is like real. Like I can fucking see it. Like between that and leaving Twitter, smartest fucking decision I ever made. I haven't been this happy in fucking years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely don't. You don't have like that
volatility,
that weight on your shoulders anymore.
Yeah.
Like you definitely have lightened up a bit.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I don't fucking ever have to worry about the shit at my old job ever again.
No.
Ever again. I'm done. My new position, Britt, I was telling Derek today on the way, is so fucking chill that like I called my supervisor. I was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna be late today because the fucking there's an accident, there's traffic." He goes, "Whatever. That's cool. Get in when you get in. I'll be checking the sports scores, so it's whatever."
And you couldn't do that at your last position?
Nope.
I hate that.
Nope.
Do they miss you?
Nope.
Do they miss you?
Oh yeah, because I fucking ran that division, and they still send me emails like, "John, we know you're not here anymore, but if you could just," and I'm like, delete.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Delete.
Yeah. I love that for you, because I've been going through kind of the same thing, right? Where my new job that I've been in for a couple months now is just like, I work way less than I did in television and get paid more and have like way more respect. It's wonderful. And you fucking need that. You need the conditions change so bad.
So not to out myself here, but Britt and Derek knew what obviously they knew what I did for a living until a few weeks ago. And guys, back me up here. When I say that I had one of the highest stress jobs on the planet, I'm not lying.
I would never. I could never.
Nope. And having, and I did that for, I got that in, I've been doing it for a long time. And I'll say this much: if you've seen pictures of me, in earlier points of my career, you can fucking you can connect the dots and figure out what I did. But this is the first time in my 21 years of doing what I do where I have been truly happy. And I've been happy to wake up and go to work, and I'm enjoying my time in the office. And honestly, like I never thought I would have that. And these guys know, like, to everybody in chat, these guys here know that I had been trying to get out of that position for years and years.
And they blackballed you so many times.
They did. And while I will always bear the mental scars of some of the shit that I saw, now those scars can those wounds can finally start to scab over and heal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a new man. I feel like a new person. I did not know that I could be this happy with my job.
I'm glad.
But I am.
I didn't mean to turn like the attention towards you, take it off our subject or anything.
No, great. Honestly, like for the first time in my career, I feel like I can live the rest of my life in peace.
Yeah.
Good.
It's like
everybody who knows you knows that, like, you've always been this kind of massive stress ball, and I think Twitter was an outlet for you, but not a good outlet.
Not at all.
And so I just think it was. I think it's good to point out like solid changes in somebody's lives and point out when you're happier. And
Yep.
You
Yep.
is.
I am doing much better, guys. Much better.
Now you just need to fucking
Now
get rid of your laundry.
Now if they would only just port Parasite Eve to modern consoles.
Oh, God.
Oh my
complete.
god. It's either this or fucking Chrono Trigger.
It's time to fucking port back, baby. Where's Chrono Trigger Square? Where is Chrono Trigger? Why is it on
where's
PC
my
and
Final
not anywhere
Fantasy
else?
9 fucking remake, remaster, whatever the fuck they want to call it?
Oh, Britt. We'll talk later.
No, I don't give a shit what you have to say because you say shit and then it doesn't happen. You hype me up and then it doesn't happen.
No.
Guess what, Britt? One of those things is the FF9 remake. Oh!
Wait, what
Anyway.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Wait, no, what things?
We'll
We're gonna
talk
talk
later.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
So, guys, Derek, what is the fucking topic tonight?
So the main topic, which Britt brought up a couple days ago, and I actually, I this has been rolling around in my head, and I do.
Derek, wait.
Huh?
Can the main topic be me?
No, Britt, what the fuck did you say?
Clive's ass.
No, you have not brought up Clive's ass to me anytime recently. I would remember that.
Is the topic Clive's ass?
No, the topic is not Clive's ass. Jesus. All of you.
If you want to talk about
Eric's like,
Clive's
I
ass,
haven't had
that's
enough
fine.
to drink to deal with this shit.
Hang on,
That's
motherfuckers.
fine. I'm not gonna fucking. I'm not. Look. If you guys want to talk about Clive's ass, that's fine.
Dorian in chat.
That was
said,
so
"Please
much
go with
bourbon
the
at
picture
once."
of Ben stars Father Brown, and I had
Oh,
Ben on the mind, and then I was like, Clive's ass. That's a funny topic.
I
You
should
guys
not have
think Cli-
chugged that.
Does Clive have
That's
a
not-
hairy? Does Clive have a hairy ass? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not. Peach fuzz at the most.
What's our fucking topic?
The actual topic.
I hate when you guys fucking make me regret saying my sick ass jokes.
You regret nothing.
Just
So
asking fucking questions.
Britt posted and
I did.
has apparently already forgotten.
That's all you need to say. Britt posted.
Netflix closes AAA game studio before it ever released a game.
They had
Headlined
a
by The
AAA
Verge.
game studio.
Well, that's kind of the funny part, is most people forgot about this. A couple years ago, Netflix
didn't know about
announced
this.
that they had acquired and started. It was a new. I think it was just known as Blue. But
And they fucking brought over so many big names.
yeah, there was a lot of big
From-
names from all
Yeah.
across the industry that they brought in for this studio, and it was the point was they were going to make a big AAA multi-plat game, their own thing, right? Like something new, something big. Netflix was like, we're getting in the game,
They were gonna do
motherfuckers.
I think. No, they brought over somebody from the Overwatch team. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then weren't they going to do an Overwatch anime?
We did find that out, but that's kind of a separate thing. That's more of Activision
Yeah.
Blizzard fucking up. Activision Blizzard had the Overwatch anime
That's right.
in
That's
the
right. I'm
works,
getting my stories confused.
and
I'm sorry.
then didn't go through with it. But yeah, Netflix had this plan to get into AAA game development, and this was their first big studio. They weren't just going to publish; they weren't just going to do fucking existing indie games through the Netflix app, which is one of the like nobody does that. I don't know why they even have that arm. And I guess Netflix found out that gaming is hard to get into because they've shut the studio down entirely 2 years in to its development. No word on what the game was. It obviously would have been nowhere close with today's budgets and development time to getting anywhere near release or even reveal. It's really interesting. And I kind of want to talk about this because Netflix has published a couple of games, right? Netflix, like, I think, wasn't Oxenfree 2 published by Netflix? Didn't they like acquire that studio and publish that? I haven't played Oxenfree 2, but I could swear that's Netflix published. They've published a couple of indies, right? That were multi-plat, wide release, not like exclusive to the Netflix app or some shit. And they've put a lot of games on like the Netflix app as a gaming platform, which is a thing I truly don't understand. And good news, neither do they. What is interesting to me is this was their first attempt to not just like pay for an indie dev to finish their project and do some marketing and get it out there, but say, we're going to own a studio that's going to make something from scratch. It's going to be big. It's going to be expensive, and we want it to catch on. And they could not make it a third of the way through development by today's standards.
Think of how much money they sunk. Like,
my God. Like, and for hiring some of these people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm reading now it was the former Overwatch executive producer ran the studio.
Yeah.
They had industry veterans from like Bungie and fucking Sony Santa Monica and fucking 343 and
it was what director from Santa Monica?
Sorry guys, I had to grunt out a long boy. What'd I miss?
How do I explain? So fucking I just did such a good job setting up this context and you just come back like
I was here the whole time. I'm kidding.
Okay, good. I wasn't going to repeat myself. What I think is interesting is they spent a lot of money. They made it, again, presumably about a third of the way through development by today's development standards, maybe not even that. And they, at some point, looked at the money they were spending, looked at what they thought they could get out of it, and they cut their losses early and said, nah, fuck this. It's not worth. Yes. And I think that's very fascinating. And I think it's interesting to talk about why do you think Netflix said, fuck this, I'm out, after spending a lot of money, but not being anywhere close to completion?
Because nobody wants to play games on Netflix?
Well, no.
I mean,
this would have been multi-plat. This would have been on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? As we pointed out, Oxenfree 2 was published by Netflix, right? That wasn't Netflix exclusive.
I think...
I don't know. Britt, go ahead.
Netflix has never made sense to me as far as some of their decisions going.
You and me
like
both,
a big
sister.
one. Like, they've canceled series that have been great. Like,
I'll never forgive them for canceling Glow.
Yeah, and fucking letting Henry fucking
That was gonna be my next one, yeah.
Like, go. Like, why would you? He carried that fucking show. Like, everybody else on it is fantastic, don't get me wrong. But that dude lived and breathed Witcher lore.
Right.
And they got rid of him. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, all I can say is that Netflix has made some wild ass decisions, and the fact that they made this one surprises me. Just as I want to say doesn't surprise me, but it surprises me just as all the other ones do. Because like, why would you? Why would you? Why would you? Like, why would you spend all this time and money getting these huge execs over from other game studios? Like, you specifically cherry picked these people and brought them over to a studio just to let them go. Like,
so here's what I think. Like, just me spitballing here. Netflix is a corporation with billions of dollars in its war chest, and they simply, I don't think they had a plan. I think they hired all these game devs from across the spectrum, right? Like, I'm looking here, and it says they hired people from Blizzard and the Halo creative team lead, and somebody from the Coalition, and Blizzard and Bungie, and Sony Santa Monica.
Coalition, damn.
And and I don't think they had a cohesive vision for anything. I think
Netflix just wanted to own something that would make them a bunch of money and get them prestige. Right. I don't think anyone at Netflix knew a good goddamn about video games. I think they were like, these folks will take care of it. And that's not how it works.
I'm saying. And no, that's what I'm saying. You've got to go into this with a plan. You've got to go into this with an idea about what you want your studio to accomplish and what kind of games you want to make. And the sad truth of it is, and this is partially the fault of the mega capitalist society that we live in, but Netflix could do all this and just afford to shutter everything.
Right.
Yeah.
They can just afford to do it. Like, it's not gonna. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they made like billions of dollars in profit in the last quarter or whatever. Like, they can afford. They don't give a shit.
That to me speaks of just kind of speaks but speaks to the callousness of all this, right? Like, and the sheer decadence of kind of the capitalist hellhole that we find ourselves in, right? Like, you've got a company where, like, I don't know how much Netflix is worth. It's got to be billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they could simply afford to throw that money away. And make no mistake, Derek, that's what they did. This money was thrown away, but they could afford to do it. They might as well have just lit it on fire. So they hired all these people and then shuttered the whole thing without making a single game, without making one single game. And you know what? For most companies out there, Derek, this would be crippling. For Netflix, it was a Thursday.
Yeah.
And that is almost impressive in a really disgusting way, and in a really depressing way.
Yeah. I have theories, cohesive theories behind the why they went down this path in the first place, and why they turned around and said, "Nah, fuck it, we're out."
Right, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yes. My theory for why they did it is Netflix it's kind of the same reason why they got into gaming to begin with. Netflix is flush with cash, and they are following a very Silicon Valley tech sector mindset of growth at all costs. What kind of shit can we throw at the wall that will stick? What is a sector we can try to break into? What are companies we can purchase, acquire, or found, right? What can we do that makes us bigger on paper because the revenue we bring in from that is less important than it pleasing shareholders and juicing the stock price, right? Netflix's game division has never made a meaningful amount of money, I'm certain, but the fact that they're doing it makes shareholders feel like Netflix is a bigger thing that they're willing to pay more for. So it's a confidence game.
Like, like busting into the AAA space with a new IP is fucking difficult. Like it's hard.
That is my number 2, honestly.
And it's really fucking hard to do that. And to be honest with you, like, I think Netflix looked at the landscape of mega massive first party titles from companies like, Sony, especially Nintendo. I mean, not Xbox, obviously. I'm just kidding. But I mean, like all jokes aside, I think Netflix is like, well, is the juice really worth the squeeze? Like, because, how much money will we lose shuttering this division as opposed to how much money will we lose when we make this big fucking fat AAA game and it doesn't sell? Like, or and Netflix. So, and it did. Derek, it sounds like your brain was doing the same thing.
You bring up a really good point, because sometimes it's better to just let things go than it is to like continue. And when I say better, I mean from a financial standpoint.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Netflix said
they looked down the barrel of the gun and were like,
Netflix did
actually do this for something that could flop, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Netflix did actually avoided the sunk cost fallacy in a lot of ways, right? They went, I know we've put 2 years into this of development costs, but we have 4, 5, 6 years ahead of us of these costs for something that, if it releases and it's a Concord, right? Or it's a Skull and Bones, whatever this game is, we're going to lose way more money
also
because of the cost that we pumped into it than we're going to make back in revenue. So like, let's just cut our losses where we're at. And the thing is, Netflix can afford to do that because they're not a gaming company.
Real quick, Derek, is that your pants on your shoulder?
I was wondering how long it would take someone to notice.
I thought you were putting it up there just to just in the moment while you were talking, but I was like, he's waited a good bit. Like, there's been many moments where he could move it off to the side, and
I'm nice and comfortable and cool. I was waiting to see how long it would take someone to notice.
I noticed instantly.
I don't know why
I
my
thought
brain
you were waiting
did
for
this.
a good moment when you weren't talking to like put it down.
I was just leaning into the joke.
I don't know why. I don't know why my brain did this, but I was just like, "Oh, Derek's wearing a kilt. That's fine." Like,
do kilts normally
whatever.
go over shoulders?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it shows what I know.
But you know what?
But yeah, so the point, if I may somewhat continue.
You may fucking not. Go ahead.
Netflix had the ability.
Jared, I'm going to interrupt you here, and I'm sorry.
I stopped in everything.
That was actually really funny. That was actually really funny.
Netflix had the ability. Hang on, I have to put my pants back on while I'm talking. Netflix had the ability to say that we can cancel this game, we can pull out of this sector entirely, and it's fine because the thing that makes us money is our video streaming platform anyway, and our movie and television content, right?
And they clearly don't respect like creative choices and like. Case in point, Henry Cavill in The Witcher, right?
Correct,
like they didn't care about like making a good TV show. They're
not in the business of art.
Out.
They're in the business of content.
Right.
So
capital C.
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
John, you'd be a great head of Netflix. You know that.
Let's examine this, right? Like, I don't. What?
Sorry. But if I'm going to finish the train I've been on.
Hold on. You may not finish. That's fine.
I'm going to I will mute you, man. I have the ability. I own the stream.
Just go, Derek.
Sure. Netflix has the ability to do this, to cut out of games, to cut out a AAA studio and it not be a big harm to them. I love you, John. But if you're Ubisoft or he's muted, it's fine, so that he can't interrupt me. If you're Ubisoft or your EA or your Activision or your Microsoft, whoever, although I guess Microsoft is Activision now, you don't have the ability to pull out of the games industry entirely. You're a gaming company, not Microsoft, but Xbox. You're a gaming company, so your only option is to work within what you're given. And Netflix got their look into things and went, you know what? Nah, fuck this, we're out.
Which they should have did before they fucking...
John, you're unmuted, it's fine.
Whatever.
That was just a previous text message he sent to me.
Yeah, I believe that.
Fuck you, bitch. So what I will say, like in all seriousness, it's also like if your first party title isn't published under the Nintendo banner, it's kind of a rough time for big first party AAA games right now, or not first party, but just big AAA games in general. Like look at what happened to fucking.
Or is it a bad time for big fucking hyper expensive service games?
Hold on, no.
Okay.
Look at what not just what happened to fucking Suicide Squad, but look at what happened to Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws bombed. Look at what happened to fucking dude, the whole Prince of Persia studio just got shuttered.
Yeah.
Because
My
you know
caveat
the Lost Prince didn't.
How many games come to the Switch though, right? Like there's a lot of times games will do big, not launching on Nintendo, but then get like Nintendo Access. We've seen that in so many directs where other games like don't. God, like what am I trying to think of? Like Fortnite wasn't originally on Minecraft.
Yeah.
You know, there's been some really popular games that don't launch with Nintendo Access.
You're seeing something similar with like one of Square Enix's biggest problems for a while now, right? Has been their PC games.
I clean laundry. It's now Dottie laundry.
It's Dottie's now. One of like Square Enix's biggest struggles, right, is that like they wait forever to put their games on PC, and then they put them on PC, and then they don't sell well, and then they go, well, why not?
Because they were like dog shit.
Yeah, well, because they're bad ports often, and because they're so late, right? So you've lost the conversation. Right, I don't think that everybody who would play Final Fantasy 16 on PC already played it on PS5. I think rather you missed the opportunity for people to play.
I played it on both, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
a real
sicko. Fan. But I think that you've lost the opportunity for that market to come in when the iron is hot and the hype is high and word of mouth is at its highest. Because you only have so much time in the attention space, and delayed releases are bad for you. So like the multi-platform approach is so important these days because you got to hit every possible customer you can, right? But I also think most of the biggest flops and failures we're seeing these days are big service games, right? Games that want to be a service. That Suicide Squad game, right? Like, it's so much more expensive to make because it has to be a forever game, right? So out the box, it's more expensive. It's more expensive down the road because you have to keep working on it. And you're competing in a space against other forever games. Compare that to like Silent Hill 2, right?
But
Silent Hill 2 just has to sell a couple million copies and it's good.
I guarantee you Netflix I guarantee one of the things they wanted was a live service game.
Oh, I bet you're big.
I fucking guarantee it.
I know they weren't making a motherfucking one and done, roll the credits, trade that game in, bad boy. No.
They were making a battle pass game. They were making
making a Concord. Like
yeah.
Oh yeah. And they probably saw what happened. Concord's another great example. Like they saw what happened to all these games and they're like, we can take a small loss now, or we can take a huge hit later. What after we paid all these people? Like, what do we do? Like,
rip off of a fucking smokestack.
We're gonna take a fucking honk off that.
I gotta bring you back for fucking the next season of Castle Bravo. I gotta have you and John on for the same episode.
Oh my god!
We're gonna
that is unironically my favorite Godzilla movie, and nobody can change my mind. Like
I can't do another.
Ever be able to.
As long as I don't need to have to watch anything on the level.
John,
of
I'm actually
Godzilla,
giving you one of my if Britt wants to join, she can. I'm giving you one of my favorites. Actually, like it's incredible. So
to kind of like for those who don't know what we're referencing, Derek made me watch a movie.
Godzilla versus Hedorah.
And it's basically the whole theme of the movie is like pollution is bad, and the whole monster is just like a pollution like monster that comes out of the ocean.
It's a very shitty movie, and it's very cheaply made, and it is fucking.
The monster fucking huffs smokestacks. That's what happens.
And it has vagina eyes and clit lasers.
Yep.
Oh fuck it.
Huffs it.
That fuck. What was the name of the monster, Derek?
Hedorah. Hedorah.
Look
at
Hedorah was like, yo. Hedorah was like, I'm going to take the ultimate honk off that Bobo.
Can I get a honk off that Bobo? John, what do I have to do to get you to take a honk off the Bobo with me, Britt, Martha, and CJ?
You need to fucking tell the government to reschedule marijuana in time for the fundraiser. Because Derek, as much as I love you, as much as I would love to honk off that Bobo, I'm not losing my job for neither the honk nor the Bobo.
I'm so glad I brought that phrase into our lexicon.
Oh, I use it all the time, dude. I use it all the time. The other day I was driving a Jade. I'm like, man, it smells like somebody's taking a fat honk off that Bobo. And he was like, what? I was like, oh, son, do you not know about honking off the Bobo? And he's like, you know what he says? He says, Dad, we had the talk years ago.
John, I just posted the link in chat. I do want you to click that real quick.
Okay, let me see.
I do want you to see what Hedorah is.
What the fuck is that thing?
I just want you to understand the eyes.
Me as a monster,
the eyes are vaginas, and it's on purpose.
That's like that brings a whole new meaning to the phrase eyeball fucking.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Does it have a tail? Is that a tail or a penis?
Yes. Same brain cell.
What's wrong with it?
Britt, I think it's entirely possible that we were fucking separated at birth.
Our birthdays are close enough.
Yeah, you're 1 year older than me though, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say separated isn't like you guys were conjoined or what? Like what's going on here?
I don't know, but we're on the exact same thought process far too often.
Last week was Ghost BJ's, and now we have Godzilla Monsters. Yeah, that's just another.
Welcome to SDGC.
Derek, how did the ghost blowjob go again?
Hang on, I do have my pants back on, so it's okay.
Yeah, you got to show.
See, pants.
Yep. All right. I believe. Okay. All right, Derek. I got to point something out. I never have I known anyone so happy to shame themselves publicly as you are. Because
I will do it. And John, I need to understand something. I will do so much for approval.
Derek, you could put a fucking gun to my head. You could fucking waterboard me for days, and I would not do what you just did.
Yeah.
In front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like,
just choked on my drink thinking about it. I wish you would, bitch. I wish a bitch would.
If
what? Me do that or me get waterboarded?
If I can make two people, yeah,
you do the fucking Bernie blowing.
Oh, if I can make fucking two human beings laugh, then it's worth it. Can that be
one of our fucking incentives for our charity stream? Is
yeah,
John
like
the Bernie blowy,
like $500. John does the Bernie blowy.
Britt, at first I thought you were like, I wish a bitch would get waterboarded. I was like, Jesus, Britt.
No. Folks, like, if we hit $5,000 at the charity stream, we will waterboard John.
Like, no, please.
I will not put you through that again. No.
I will say that I have been.
I would be waterboarded for charity. I will sign myself up for that.
No. As somebody who has, I am confident I am the only member of this podcast who has been literally waterboarded.
Right.
You don't want that shit. Don't do that for charity.
And yet, like, I would, John. If it would get us $5,000 for Palestinian children, I would be waterboarded.
Fuck them kids.
No.
That's the difference between us, John.
No.
I'm just saying, as somebody who's been waterboarded, dude, I can't do that again.
I'll do it. I'll put it on the fucking fucking board. I'll do it right now, in fact.
Jokes aside for everybody in chat, our charity this year is disaffected Palestinian children.
Yeah, it's the Palestine Children's Relief Fund specifically, which provides medical aid and other aid to innocent Palestinian children who were the victims of bombing and other horrible tactics being used by Israel's military.
I can't think of a more in danger population on the planet than Palestinian children.
It's fucking horrible because like children did not ask to be and do not like do. Most people did not ask to be in this conflict, but like children explicitly cannot opt into this conflict. They cannot opt into the politics of this situation. And Israeli children don't need fucking help. Israeli children already live in an incredibly wealthy and well-connected nation that is backed by one of the wealthiest empires in the world. They do not like, I feel horrible for Israeli children who live under like the fear of missile strikes and things like that. No children deserve that, but I was going to say Israeli children have support, right? And Palestinian children do not. So that makes what things like the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund more important is it helps get aid to children who desperately fucking need it and who don't have a lot of options in that regard. Right. So I'm very happy to raise money for that because children don't opt into war. It's that simple.
No.
Azim in chat says, hell yeah, free Palestine. I just want to point out that as the guy who founded this podcast, I can confidently say that here at SDGC, we believe that Palestine deserves a country of their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's pretty fucking easy, guys. It's pretty fucking easy. I thought that's what they're supposed to fucking be, but I digress. That's for 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I digress. I'm very
Do you digress?
I'm very drunk right now.
I can tell.
You're not.
Well, do you think I'm not? I took my pants off earlier. I don't know what to tell you.
Why did you take your pants off? Was that just random?
Yeah, because you've been joking about it. Yeah, it was the bit.
Your pants.
John and I am always willing to embarrass and shame myself.
The last 30 minutes of this podcast always go into charity stream and us just being fucking chaotic.
Yeah.
Derek was like, did you have one of the situations where like it was humid in there and like your sack was
It is a little warm in here right now.
All right.
No, we're not going to talk about, thank you, Britt. We're not going to talk about my anatomy or biology right now. I don't have anything going on. Like what is my gender is A. My gender is A. I am a gender. What's in my pants? Fucking spookiness currently because it's Halloween season.
I don't want to know about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about the spooky shit in your pants.
It goes boo. I don't know what to tell you. It goes boo.
I fucking hate you.
I wish Britt was here for that one.
Yeah, well, she's not.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Thank you, John.
To be fair to you, Derek, she's not here because of me.
Yeah,
she's not here because of me. What else? What else do I wonder if she's actually coming back?
She's listening for when it's safe. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is we did not get the chance to talk about this last week, and I still think it's bigger than anything that happened this week otherwise. Bandai Namco.
Okay. Bandai
Namco apparently has canceled a pretty significant number of projects. In the process, while it has, that I think is one of the things I want to talk about, right? It has, in the process, God, my hair is fucked right now.
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. At least you have hair.
You better shave that fucking dome, buddy. You better shave that fucking dome smooth.
I will. I'm gonna fucking shave it.
Because if I get prickles on my lips when I give that a forehead kiss, I'm gonna be pissed.
You think I have hair on my forehead?
You do, because I gave you a forehead kiss in Seattle and it was prickly.
Okay, fair. Anyway, Derek,
you were slacking.
Bandai
Namco has canceled.
The fuck was that?
That boy ain't right.
Oh my god.
Boo! Bandai Namco has canceled a number of projects, and in the process, they've so what they appear to have done, and it's in line with a practice that is known in the Japanese workforce, is they have taken
firing.
No, because it's hard to lay people off. Japan has a lot of really strong labor protections, right? You can fire people for being bad at their job, but it is really fucking hard to do layoffs.
That is true. In Japan, you don't see this very often.
Yeah, so you can fire people with cause, but you cannot lay people off. So what Bandai Namco has done, which is what a lot of companies do, is they have taken a large number of their employees and they have basically assigned them to divisions and put them in offices or cubicles, or in some companies you even hear of people being put in rooms where there is literally nothing to do. You are still collecting a paycheck, but it is to do nothing, and there is not going to ever be upward mobility for you. And usually what happens, and we're hearing this, and we are hearing about this from some of these articles. Well, no, it's there because it's top row and bottom row.
Brit said she's the bottom.
Sure, so. That's fine. We've known this. But what does that look for? What a lot of employees do in this situation is they basically use this time that they're being paid, but not giving any possibility of a future in the company, to apply for other jobs, right? And the hope is, what the company is hoping and the employee is hoping, is that the employee will just will just apply and get another job and leave. And the company will not have to jump through the hoops of having to lay them off and pay severance, but the employee will also not see a lapse in pay, right? Because they're going to get paid while they're working, while they look for another job. It's a very weird, awkward dynamic that there's not really an equivalent for in the US. The closest I can say is, think of being what's his name? Milton from Office Space. But what if they kept paying him the whole time?
But put strychnine in the guacamole.
Thanks, Britt.
Perfect, Britt. Well done.
You held the stone face for such a short amount of time. You did not hold that down.
So good.
God bless. Here is the part of this that I think is interesting to talk about. I actually think I'm less interested in talking about the labor practice of putting people in offices and cubicles where they don't have any work to do and they've got to search for other jobs. Because frankly, I think there's a lot of Americans that wish they would get paid to look for another job. Right. In the grand scheme of things, it's a lot better than what we deal with. What I'm interested in is what the hell is going on with Bandai Namco? Because from what we hear, they canceled a number of games based on major licensed anime franchises, stuff like Naruto and One Piece, right? That are huge right now. And they canceled a Nintendo collaboration, which many are speculating was that Kid Icarus Uprising remake / remaster. So,
I mean, so my first question was, do we know exactly what they canceled?
We don't know we don't know specifics. We know licensed games based on anime, which given their output is likely like big shonen stuff and big, so stuff like based on major popular shonen franchises, like one would presume Naruto, One Piece, My Hero Academia, stuff that Bandai Namco has published games for in the past. But also we do know that it was a Nintendo collaboration is one of the games that they canceled. We don't know the specifics. Everyone is kind of assuming it was the long rumored Kid Icarus Uprising remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it.
If they canceled the fucking Kid Icarus remaster or like a Kid Icarus Uprising remaster
speculation,
or remake or
to
sequel,
be clear.
I'm going to go fucking crazy, dude.
I've seen people be like, oh my God, they canceled the next Smash. And it's like, they didn't cancel Smash. That's not, if a Smash game is in the works, that's not getting canceled.
Derek, you don't understand. Smash Ultimate was the last Smash. Absolutely. Sakurai wouldn't lie to us about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but here's a question. What the fuck is going on at Bandai Namco that would cause them to cancel so many of these projects?
So here's my question. Bandai Namco games generally sell really well, right? Like they're not sales bombs by any stretch of the imagination.
Bamco does this thing where they tend to make a lot and publish a lot of very cheap licensed anime games, right? That sell okay. And every so often one of them sells a lot. Sparking Zero had a lot more work. Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero had a lot more work put into it than most, and it's selling really well. But like, look, I'm a big Gundam fan, right? I played SD Gundam Battle Alliance. What was that, last year? I played Gundam Breaker 4 earlier this year. They're fun games. They are definitely on the budget side in terms of their development. Bandai Namco is really good at publishing smartly developed, clean, cohesive, but cheap licensed anime games that sell enough. And every now and then one blows up and it basically pays for the next 10. They do also publish, they published Elden Ring, right? They published the Dark Souls series. Like, they have some publishing rights that like games do blow up, but it's like the Tales of series, right? Tales is not a huge. God, I love Emmett so much.
You're a good boy.
I want to smooch that pup too.
Everybody likes Beignet because he's a corgi, but
yeah, but Emmett is also wonderful. But Bandai Namco.
You think they're in trouble? Like are they themselves like what is the level of danger here that you're suggesting?
It's weird. I wonder, because every story I've read puts all of this together, right? That the Nintendo project and the licensed projects are part of the same problem. I almost wonder if we're looking at two separate problems here. And it's difficult because Bandai Namco, it's not very transparent. They don't talk a lot about.
I'll be back in like 10. I'll be back in like 10 seconds.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Cool.
I can hear you.
Yeah. They don't talk a lot. You don't hear a lot about what's going on inside Bandai Namco. You don't know the names of a lot of studios that Bandai Namco owns.
Aren't they one of the ones that we've like really struggled trying to get codes from too?
That's true. It's been iffy, right? Which is weird because Finn used to work for Arc System Works.
Yeah.
Right. And was tied to Bandai Namco for a long time, but their PR is a little weird to work with. We've gotten some stuff in the past, But like, it's funny. I got a code for Gundam Extreme Versus several years ago from them. We did not get a code for SD Gundam Battle Alliance or Gundam Breaker 4. Despite the fact that that Gundam review I did is maybe one of the most heavily produced reviews we ever did.
Explain that. What does that mean?
I mean, like, I wrote a script. I edited in like music and sound effects. It was like extremely well produced. It's like a piece I'm still really proud of, to be honest with you. But Bandai Namco's just a fucking weird one, because if you think about it, most of what they do is license stuff. Well, because they're two very distinct companies, right? Bandai is all about anime and licensing. You know, it's Gundam, it's Godzilla.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Here's my question before you go any further, because I need the context here.
Yeah.
Right. What is the ratio of games developed by Bandai Namco versus the ratio of games produced by Bandai Namco? Or I'm sorry, published by Bandai Namco.
That's complicated because like that's pretty clear cut in the case of like FromSoft, right? Where FromSoft is a free agent and FromSoft is going to go wherever they want to go. Right? They went to Sony for Bloodborne. They went to Activision for Sekiro. They went back to Bandai Namco for Elden Ring. It's a little trickier when it comes to a lot of these small studios that make like the Naruto games, the One Piece games that made whatever studio made Sparking Zero. What's the name of the game development studio that made Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero? I'm going to look it up.
Oh, right. I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah, I'm sure you fucking were.
John.
What?
You didn't have to do that.
What do you do?
Do what? I don't know what you're talking about.
He just bought me Silent Hill 2.
He did say he was going to do that.
I didn't buy it. What? What are you talking about, Brett? I didn't do anything.
Thank you.
You literally said you were going to do it last week, so it's okay.
I never said that. I never said that.
There is so little information on who developed. Okay, it's Spike Chunsoft. Okay, yeah, but right, that's weird.
Derek, I fucking told you it was Spike Chunsoft.
You
literally
sure did.
10 seconds ago. I was like, Derek, it's fucking Spike Chunsoft, Derek.
Yeah.
Some fucking
hey, John, what's the name
Namco.
of the team? What's the name of the team that makes the Tales of games?
Spike Chunhard, dude. Like,
that was actually really good.
God, I hate you more than I have the ability to fucking explain.
Britt acts all fucking shocked when I'm funny, Britt. Like, I'm like, John's normally just a dipshit, but every now and then he drops a nugget of hilarity.
Like, poop farts, and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then sometimes you just come out with bangers, and I'm like, wow, it wasn't a fucking.
I hate when you're funny on purpose, dude. Yeah. I fucking hate.
What's wrong with
Britt and I did this really funny photo with the Garuda statue at the Final Fantasy 16 event, and it was so good. And then you just walked in and did the funniest thing possible.
We asked you to come join us. You were like, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and then you just walk in behind us.
I have a great idea.
And you do the funniest thing any human being could possibly have done, and I hate you for it.
So for context for anybody in chat who doesn't know this. So we got just brag a little bit. We got invited to the Final Fantasy 16 launch party in Los Angeles last year. So we went, and there's this huge Garuda statue that you can take a photo with, right? Like she was like grabbing you, and you stand in her hand, and everybody was like,
"Oh, me and Britt were like fawning, right? We were like, oh my god, we're getting captured by the hot monster lady." I was like, you just saluted her.
Okay. So I just walked in and faced her and just saluted her. And
I'm still mad that that's not your Twitter banner to this day.
I casually walked up to Britt, just like I did this, and I thought Britt was gonna fucking die.
I think it's the hardest I've laughed around you ever.
God, I was sure so Britt, upset.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure to this day. I'm not sure I've ever seen Britt laugh that hard.
I think Britt and I were both also really like high on the fucking experience of that event, like the entire time. It was such a good time. I mean, like, it literally started with me and Britt like getting wine and tacos and having like maybe our first really powerful bonding night together.
My favorite moment of that whole thing.
You introduced me to Brendan Lee Mulligan, and I'll never forget that.
My favorite part of that whole thing was when you guys were both streaming Final Fantasy 16, the Benedicta fight, and then Benedicta stepped on Clive, and both of you simultaneously.
You can watch us both get instantly bricked up. It's so good.
Britt's like Britt. You can hear Britt. I'm not even gonna call it a whisper. Britt murmured. She was like, "Oh, she did the thing." I'm like, yeah, like both. I could see both of you.
And then they got rid of her within the first 5 minutes of the game, so that was fucking cool.
Jesus.
Hey, within the first 2 hours.
Gave her a nice little rape storyline, and then fucking got rid of her. I said, "Yeah, you filled your purpose. You're done."
She's such a cool design character too.
And Nina was such a great voice actress. Like, what a wasted like potential. Like, as a character and for Nina in general. Like, Nina did incredible in that role.
As much as I love 16, like, it's up there for sex with me, but as much as I love it, like, they did Benedicta.
I think you can love something that is fucked up, right? Yeah. Like, I think it's important.
I mean, you love
bitch. I don't love you anymore.
Oh my god, that's a clip. Can somebody clip that?
God damn. I think it's important.
That was clippable.
I think it's important I think it's important to recognize that something you love is problematic and not like be like self-sacrificing about it. I also think, and I like CJ has said this several times, and I love the way CJ says it. I think it's important to love problematic art, right? Like, and I'm not saying that has to be Final Fantasy 16, but I think it's important for everybody out there to love one or two problematic things.
I mean, I do. Like, I'll go ahead and throw it out there, dude. I really enjoyed my time with BioShock Infinite. I'd like the art design. The art design in that game.
Oh, I love that game. Yeah.
Like to this day, Columbia, from an artistic standpoint, is just completely unsurpassed.
I know we only have a few minutes left, but what was the issue? Because I wasn't on social media.
So the big thing.
That BioShock came out.
Oh, bubbies.
Good night, bud.
He can't hear us.
Say good night to everybody? Yeah. All right, come on.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you can say good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. God damn. So the issue with BioShock Infinite.
I wasn't on during.
The biggest.
I wasn't online.
There are two major discourses, and I think one of them is interesting from the perspective of art criticism, but not that important to most consumers, which is the idea that it's weird how much violence and gunfights do not fit the narrative, and the gameplay of BioShock Infinite doesn't fit the narrative. People got really familiar with the term ludonarrative dissonance for a little bit, but that's a media criticism thing that does not have to apply to most people's enjoyment of the game. The bigger thing was it treated the black undercast of Columbia rioting and uprising against their oppressors as being as
just
bad
as
the oppression, because they used
themselves.
Violence, and that makes things bad, so it's extremely.
I never even thought of that perspective before.
Honestly. It's extremely.
Maybe that's on me, and that's a bad.
Well, no,
it's
it's also when's the last time you played that game and really deeply thought about it, right?
So here's the thing.
I haven't played it since launch.
Sure, a lot of us have grown a lot in our politics since then.
I know what they were trying to say. I know
that violence is bad.
Violence is bad. Taken to extremes, violence is bad no matter how you slice it. But
you can't divorce it from context. It's
right.
It makes it very, especially in the aftermath of a lot of the post George Floyd protests, right? And Breonna Taylor, and that whole summer of really intense BLM protests.
Yeah.
People being well, the fact that they broke a few storefront windows is as bad as the innocent people that were killed. It's very neoliberal.
And when the crate, there are still moments in BioShock Infinite that rank up there and the most breathtaking. Britt, when you first make it to Columbia and it starts playing "Will the Circle Be Unbroken" as you're descending down that elevator,
and I'm BioShock
Wow,
Infinite
like-
is a game that is willing far more than the vast majority of games released these days to directly point
Address,
a
like,
a spotlight at explicitly American Christofascism, right?
Yeah.
In a way that was so prescient and so ahead of its time. It just also had this dog shit both sidesism about political violence.
So the thing that I really loved about BioShock Infinite, and it's still like I don't remember shit about that game. I just remember I liked it a lot. But I mean I have the memory of a goldfish. But the thing I really liked a lot is that you as the main character were essentially nothing without Elizabeth. You were not
Yes.
anything without the female character.
I liked
of the
Elizabeth
game.
as a
And,
character,
like,
but you know,
Elizabeth is still one of my favorite women characters in games, and there's a moment in that game where like there's an exchange between Booker and Elizabeth that really solidified just how powerful and terrifying Elizabeth could be, is when she says, "Do you believe in God, Booker? Or are you afraid of God?" And he says, "No, but I'm afraid of you." And like that line stuck with me I was like, holy shit, that hits deep. Like,
yeah. Well, like a great to talk about a different game very, very briefly, because I know we're at the end of our time here, but like Persona 4 is a transformative game for me.
Yeah.
Persona 4 changed my outlook on a lot of shit, right? And I love it deeply. And it's so it specifically as a game is so important to me and to a lot of my closest friends here in Louisville that like the long running group of friends I've had since like college that have been for each other, and shockingly many of whom turned out to be queer, trans, non-binary, etc. Right? Like we're still called the investigation team in the Discord.
Can I predict where you're going with this?
You don't have to. You know. The way it handles Kanji and Naoto is bad.
Yep.
The way it handles Yosuke being like openly homophobic sucks shit, and it never pushes back on him for that. The way that it wants to walk up to the line with a metaphor for like, or in talking about like internalized homophobia with Kanji, and then says actually he's not gay. The way that it walks up to the line of playing with gender identity with Naoto and saying like this is somebody who's experiencing intense gender dysphoria, and saying, well, actually it's just because of social roles and they can be a girl and be the thing they want to be. And then the way that the game walks every character's individual story right up to the line of like talking about the ways in which they are different from society, and then at the very last moment tells every character actually the solution to that is to fall into place, kind of sucks.
I don't want to just fob this off with, like, this is going to sound really trite and formulaic, but I will say
I'll be the judge of that.
I agree with you on all these points. Persona 4 came out in like what, 2002, like 2000.
It's
like
the very end of the PS2 era, right? And like I'm going to grant you that it did really good for its time.
It did, but it was also very much a product of its time.
Yes, I get that.
And I think that's a big point of like, especially BioShock, is like these games, like you have to imagine like they're a product of their time. A lot of these games that we enjoy that are problematic are products of their time, and
sure,
you can acknowledge that, and you can definitely point it out. But it's like enjoying the art without relating like to the artist, Yes,
like, I think a part of truly engaging with and enjoying art is understanding where it falls flat, understanding why it might fall flat, including because it was simply a different time, and like things could have been better, but also that was more the norm at the time, and not giving it a pass, but recognizing that that's a part of the whole.
Derek, let's keep our powder dry on this, because I think this is a great topic for a full discussion next week. I actually really want to dive into this because I'm in. I'm fascinated.
I'd love to get CJ on this because CJ loves this shit.
Yeah, even if it means like we I think this is a great topic. Even if we don't talk about it on air, like we can like schedule out a night to do this. I think that would be really
Oh, I'd
fun
love
and
that.
informative.
Yeah.
I would actually.
Hey guys,
really,
5
really
of us
love
are going to be together in a couple weeks. I don't know if you know that.
So 5 of us are going to be together. Myself.
But I'm gonna
Derek,
be shit faced and I'm not gonna be coherent. I don't want to have a conversation like
dude.
this.
I'm telling you, me and you are gonna steal a bottle of bourbon, and Martha's gonna take a fucking edible, and we're gonna sneak off and have the best girl talk night known to man.
There's a fucking McDonald's 3 minutes walking distance from my house now.
Good, so that means you could fucking walk back and fucking drop another bag of fries. Great.
I can. Britt, I'll fucking drop fries like a goddamn trail of breadcrumbs back to my house.
We go get some nugs. We go get high as shit and go get some nugs.
There's also a retro arcade, like an 80s, 90s retro arcade.
We're doing that some night.
With alcohol. No, Britt. 3 minutes walking. We could walk there from my house. 3 minutes.
I want to play the Simpsons game.
It's there. Right, it's there.
Beautiful.
That's what we're doing.
That seems like a Thursday night kind of thing.
This arcade has the Simpsons game. It has NBA Jam. It's got fucking Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition. It's got fucking Mortal Kombat 2. It's got it's got all the fucking good. It's got Derek. It's got the original Virtua Fighter.
Oh.
It's gonna be fun.
I think this is gonna fix me. I think getting together is gonna fix me. I think getting some good ass John hugs is gonna fix me, and giving you a forehead smooch. I think
Dottie.
I think Dottie is gonna fix me. I think making ice cream for my homies is gonna fix me. I love he's like, dude, the forehead kisses, I'm out.
We just lost power.
What's up?
We just lost power.
Oh shit. Well, eat shit.
All right, well, good night, everybody.
light some candles. I don't know what to tell you. Wow.
How did you immediately hop on?
John was just ready.
Because I had my phone right here.
Yeah. But like, I think that's all gonna fix me.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna give Justin so many hugs because I know that boy needs so many hugs, and he's gonna get them from me. Like, yeah, we're gonna just have a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be great.
All right, folks.
All right, join our Discord.
Yeah, bam, fucking. Here's Discord. Join the Discord. It's a great, heavily moderated, safe space for folks of all backgrounds to come and talk nerdy with each other.
I made a lot of people cry by posting a video in gaming recently.
What'd you post?
The fucking I showed it to you like a month ago. The Tav and Gale.
Oh yeah,
please.
Oh my god, that made me that fucked me up a little bit.
So somebody sent it to me, and then it popped up in my feed, and I was like, "Well, that just means I have to share it with everybody else."
Correct.
And so many people messaged me like, "Why would you do this to me?"
Yeah, correct. Also, folks,
it's so dark down here.
Yeah, you can
see shit.
You can support us either via Patreon or by subbing here on Twitch. Everything we do will always be free, but remember, if you sub on Twitch, you can skip the ads, which is great. But also, we could use a little bit of money, right? I mean, we travel to PAX now twice a year. We have to get everybody together to we have to, get everybody together to DC for this get together, and that's not cheap to do so that we can raise some money for charity. So we really appreciate the support people can give us, but it's not necessary, and I don't want you to feel guilty if you can't. That is what we've got for this week. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be back again next week, and then the week after that, mark your calendars, Friday and Saturday, November, what is that, 8th and 9th? It's the Friday and Saturday immediately.
I think it's the 10th and 11th, isn't it?
It's immediately following. It's the 8th and 9th. I'm so good at this.
I'm not. Don't listen to me.
Immediately following Election Day, we will be streaming both days a bunch of multiplayer games.
We'll either be in a really happy mood or a really depressed mood.
Yeah, we're gonna be in a good mood no matter what. Raising money for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your night, and remember, kindness costs nothing.
Kindness costs nothing.
Take care of each other. I'm dying.
You fucking adored it. You boboed that shit.